We don't talk about Bruno, no, no, no. Okay, folks, hello, welcome on another live stream from AsyncAPI. Let me first double check that it started. I think it did. We're live on YouTube. So before we start, as usual, we know that sorry, I should never read comments in the chat during live stream. It always distracts me. So what I wanted to say, first of all, that's a live stream about AsyncAPI Mentorship, a Q&A session. But yeah, as usual, we know, our community consists of people that have also other duties, and people sometimes just are late for the live stream. So let's give folks 1-2 minutes more to join the live stream. In the meantime, as usual, I will just share some links. So first of all, to those that are on Zoom, actually, I don't have any announcement for you. More to folks that are watching us through the live stream on Twitter or on YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn. So folks, remember that during the live streams, to not complex our lives too much, we only watch chat from Zoom and from YouTube. So in case you want to ask some questions, please don't paste them on Twitch or Twitter or LinkedIn. So I'm going to share with you. So in case someone is watching now on YouTube and you'd like to join us live on Zoom, I just shared the link to Zoom. Now, other organizational information, I don't think we need them for now. So yeah, the most important is how you can join, I guess. So yeah, 1 minute more. I see more people just joined, like we have Ace, and even more people. Perfect. Hi, folks. Thanks for joining in such large group. So yeah, I think we can. It's all like 4 minutes past. So yeah, again, welcome to AsyncAPI Mentorship Q&A session. So it's a Q&A session for everyone who are interested with the AsyncAPI Mentorship that we started this year. That we did not plan actually to start this year, but we got rejected from Google Summer of Code. And we noticed that there are so many people in the community that want and need mentorship that we decided to try the mentorship program on our own. So before I continue, the most important, I think, information before I continue is that on the meeting we have Ace. So the thing is that the whole mentorship program that Fran initiated in discussions, and then I ran it to actually have it started. I'm handing over that to Ace. So basically, we know that the mentorship program, it's not going to be something that just happens this year, and we're not going to do it next year's. I think we're pretty sure that it's going to stay with us longer. And we're going to do it every year. And to do it every year, we need someone who's like much more focused on the program, who can regularly check with the participants of the program how it's going, collect feedback, and then improve it for next year. And that will be Ace. So Ace, who's here, at least for me in the video. So Ace will now start working on AsyncAPI full-time. So, and he's like me, always looking first on the community, on the contributors, and he will take over the program. So remember, like after that call, pretend I don't exist and always ask Ace for more questions. So I think that's the most important announcement. And then, yeah, so are there any questions, or you prefer me to start answering some fake questions? Remember, you can normally unmute on Zoom if you want, or just write a question in the chat. Okay, so that's good. Don't worry. I will start anyway, some basic explanation, and maybe questions will pop up as a follow-up questions to my explanation. So can you confirm that you can see the screen and the size is okay? Okay, perfect. So where we are at, if it comes to the AsyncAPI mentorship, some information is here in this discussion. So as I mentioned, like the whole discussion was triggered by Fran, and then during the discussion, we involved also TSC in the voting, because it was it meant we will spend some community money on the mentorship. So the most information here, it's pretty much lost in the discussion, but yeah, you can see here. So the we went through the whole process of getting the ideas for the mentorship, recruiting the mentees, getting mentors on board as well. So basically on 6th of June, when we announced the final list of mentorship ideas that we will sponsor this year. So that's the list. And yeah, of course, I'm going to share links in YouTube to these two pretty important resources. But yeah, for next year, I bet we will have it properly and nicely documented in the website. But yeah, that's the list of the topics that were selected, list of mentors. So we will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mentors and 10 mentees. There's one special project where there will be 2 mentees, and one project where some people may ask, like, okay, we did not select yet 10 mentees. We have only 9 folks selected. It's because we have a bit delay here on this idea, but it's related to the unavailability of the maintainer. The good thing is that we know that the maintainer will be back pretty soon. And we'll choose who will be mentored in this given issue. It's just, you know, people have their personal problems as well. So, but we at least know that Kudai is coming back. If it comes to other information, just give me a second. So I open the chat when I share. For mentors, if there are any mentors watching the Q&A session, please remember that we do it for the first time. And mentees, like, also please remember that we do it for the first time. And the only mentoring in the past, except of some minor events, we did Google Season of Docs last year. And basically, we don't want to reinvent the wheel. So we kind of agreed that the first year we will just follow, and I'm just now looking for a link, that we will just follow the, yeah, I think that's the link. We will just follow the same guidelines, the same rules that Google has already, because Google Summer of Code is there for a few years already. So we want to, like, again, like, we don't want to reinvent the wheel. So please remember as mentors that if you have some questions, try to follow the official Google Summer of Code rules. I think the only rule that we know that we will not follow from Google Summer of Code is the deadline. So normally in Google Summer of Code for this year, there are 2 deadlines, depends on the project and mentors and mentees. For this year, our deadline is longer, so it's until the end of this year. So it's all up to the mentor and the mentee for a given idea to decide on the timeline, because in the end, just remember, it all depends on the time of the mentor and the mentee, and they devote their time to the project, so they need to make sure that they're like comfortable with the deadlines for this year, that they can deliver the project. So yeah, it's all up to the mentor and mentee of a given idea to decide the flow. But then, as I mentioned at the beginning, ACE will be, I don't think we have a name for this role, but it's like coordinator or mentorship lead, whatever the name is, but he will regularly contact you, check how it's going, and always remember to share feedback, what we can improve, what doesn't work, so next year we do it better. Okay, so questions? So there's a question. Okay, I'm going to read the question because for others that don't see Zoom chat. So there's a question from Steven about how can I be of help? The biggest, like, depends in what area would you like to help. So it can be either help for ACE if it comes to the coordination of the whole program. But if you mean the part about mentorship and helping interns, mentees, however we call, help mentor a given idea, then it's just contact a mentor from a given idea. So if, for example, you'd like to help in I don't know, just take first like AsyncAPI Block Builder, and you'd like to help the mentor and mentee, like especially with meetings, like mentorship meetings, to explain how to approach to the task, etc., then just please contact a given mentor, because it's normal that we, like a normal situation, that we can have more than one mentor per idea. Here you can always see one person, but it's just because we're just listing the lead mentor, the one that is like, we always need to have single person that is responsible. But in case of, for example, website UI kit, it's Missy that she's the lead, but Maciej will be involved there also as a co-mentor and actively helping with the development. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, perfect. Okay, there's a question from Ace. What does it take to become a mentee for a given project idea? So that's already decided. So the decision is being done by a mentor. And that's how it worked this year. For next year, I guess the rules will be different. For this year, rules were mainly driven by by Google season of Summer of Code. They definitely have to change the names of these programs, because like for Google Summer of Code, when we communicated that we will apply, there were already many people involved and in the project and contributing a lot, thinking about being selected for Google Summer of Code. So we simply, the rules that we had for mentors to select mentee, we said like, it's up to you to decide, but like choose among first choose among the folks that came in first for Google's season of docs, because they actually motivated us to start the mentorship. And also there was a deadline. In the end, there was a deadline. In the timeline, you can see, let me scroll. So we first provided the ideas, and then mentees had time to discuss the idea with mentors and in the comments indicate that they are interested to work on a given idea. So I can answer for me, like, for example, I'm mentor for these two topics, and I choose Shiham because as far as I remember, like Shiham contributes to the project for a few months already, and she was, as far as I remember, the only person that clearly said that she wants to work on a given idea. So my motivation was basically that I saw that Shiham is already involved in the project for a longer time. So it's not someone that just came in because there's a mentorship opportunity and then people and money to earn, but it was someone from the community already that wants to learn AsyncAPI. Here with tools, the decision was that I think there were more than one people that were interested, but Akshat was actually the only one that involved actively, asked a lot of questions and started discussing the solution for this idea. So, and Akshat contributes to website big time already for the last few months. So for me, decision was also as a mentor, it was clear I want to leverage Akshat presence in the community. But yeah, there were no clear guidelines because again, like we do it for the first time. Might be that next year we have to have it much more transparent and clear. Okay, another question. Suvik, since Google has two deadlines, should we have a soft deadline just to take feedback and check progress? So I like, I don't have a strong opinion here. So in my opinion is there should be just one deadline end of the year. And again, it's up to the mentor and mentee to set their own deadlines. Because I think flexibility here matters. Like you can, with your mentee, come up with, let's say, 3 different deadlines. And me and my mentee might say, okay, we don't need any deadlines. Like we're pretty, it's pretty smooth for us, like how we go, etc. Because it really depends. It really depends on the mentee and his availability. So with Akshat, I know when he starts his study, his university again. So we are in constant, let's say, contact. To understand where he's available and can work full time and when not. So it really depends, especially on the mentor as well, because we then have also summer and holidays. So that's why this year I did not push for a like strong, even soft and hard deadlines. Another question from Rookie. Yes, having some deadlines works great, as in my case, having a pressure gets more work done. So I would say again, like if deadline makes you, I mean, I think with many people it works this way, that deadlines make you more motivated to do the work. But I don't think you need like deadline given on you from the top. It's just talk to the mentor and tell the mentor, hey, give me some deadlines, and then the mentor will definitely give you some deadlines. You can also talk to Ace later after this meeting, and I bet that if you will have some agreement with Ace, like, hey man, check with me every 2 weeks how I'm progressing, he'll be this person that is poking you in your back, asking how you're doing. Yeah, and there's a comment from Akshat. Yeah, maybe you can have deadlines decided in mutual conversation with mentee and mentor. Yeah, definitely. That's the thing. Like it's like you have countries that are centralized and decentralized. Let's do the mentorship decentralized. Let's not put too many roles from the top, but let's be flexible as much as possible. And David, I'd be happy to look at the CICD visualization as well and help mentor. That's this one from Kuda, right? Yeah, I think that Kuda will definitely be happy. It's super cool idea. Actually, I'm happy that the technical steering committee decided to choose it. I think that it might end up as something super useful, not just really for us in the API, because I bet that other organizations also use GitHub Actions at such a huge extent as we do. So this visualization should be cool. Yeah, the Menti has not been chosen for this. It's because Kuda is not available at the moment, so he could not make a decision. I wrote to him to remind him about it, but I know he's not responsive. He just, yeah, technically he cannot really answer now. But from his friend, I know that maybe this week he'll be back online. So might be that something will move next week. But again, we know that he will come back, so we're not dropping this from the list. And because the deadline is end of the year, so we can start later with this particular idea. Question from Ace: what happens if a mentee decides to drop out of the program during midway for some reason? How does the mentee receive the stipends? Don't know. That's why we wrote like, if we don't know what to do, let's look on the Google Season of Docs, Google Summer of Code rules, and let's learn from them. What's the suggestion, how they dealt with it in the past. I think it all depends on like if the person dropped out because and dropped out at the beginning, then there's no stipend. But if the person dropped out almost at the end, then there should be some, at least some percentage of the stipend paid. So yeah, let's hope Google solved it in the past. Let's do everything possible that they don't drop out. And also, I think I remember that when I was a mentor for Google Summer of Code, there were cases like this, as far as I remember, and it was always advised like be empathetic for the mentee, and simply if somebody drops out, don't decline them immediately. It's all about talking to another person, like why the person drops out. Is it because like it's completely like somebody completely burned out and doesn't want to work in tech, and that's end? Or if it's because of some personal issues or some delay caused by like some events that might be solved in a month. Like it really depends on the reason of dropping out. So just put choose empathy and try to solve this issue this way, I would say. Any other questions? Nobody asks if we should already start working on the ideas. So we should actually, like this Q&A was organized just to make sure that you have a place to ask questions. But if it was okay if you already started working on the issue, on the ideas, like for example, with the idea that I mentor, the create new page for tools, Akshat was so much involved in discussions about the issue that he actually started working on it already. We already had our first one-on-one to kick off. Again, me as a I'm not gonna tell mentors how to do the mentorship unless you want some explicit ideas. Then just ask me. I can definitely help you out. But looking at the list of the mentors, I think like knowing where Missy is coming from what company, what she was doing before, also knowing like Suvik and Kuda, you were folks mentees last year, so you know how the work with mentor looked like. You know what you liked, what you didn't like. Maciej is also a long-term mentor, Fran obviously as well. So I guess you don't need to know how to kick off, that you need to regularly meet and check with mentee. Okay, another question from Ace. When is the general end date for the current one? End of the year. So, but it's not that everyone has to work so many months. It's like, it's just like the deadline where we say, okay, it's already taking long. Let's figure out what's happening. But I bet some will finish in, it really depends on the time availability and the flexibility of the mentor and the mentee. Some issues, some ideas can be done in 1 month and some will take 3 months, but it's not because they're more complicated. It's because you just don't have enough time to work on them. Yeah, 31st of December, yeah, definitely. Instead of going for a New Year's party, we'll have a mentorship closing party online, only for nerds. And good news, we are discussing already in some other issue, I think in the brand repo, that it would be nice that mentees get a super cool hoodie at the end. So it's not just about the, like, of course, it's cool that there will be money in the end, but there will be some nice swag for mentees as well. And there's a question from Suvik. If we finish before conference, can the mentee present in the conference like we have last year? It's more complicated, Suvik, this year, because last year we were doing conference in online only. And this year it's in person. And it depends how the proposals will be done, like how not proposals will be done, like it all really depends on the call for papers and the potential presenters, what they will choose if they don't feel comfortable to travel and they prefer to present remotely, because we still need to respect that for some countries they stop talking about pandemia, but for some not. Also, even though the conference will be in Barcelona, which is far from the border of Ukraine, I think that it might be that some people are still afraid to come to Europe. So it might be that many presenters will say that they can present only remotely. So we just basically play it live in the conference room. And then we say, okay, let's do it. Let's invest money in it, and then it makes sense. So that's one of the things I can't really, I don't have answer to. Not sure really what direction it will take. And if it comes to the presentation of on the conference, also. I would say like just the best is, so it's basically I don't have an answer. So the only answer I have, just go to discussions on the community. We have this AsyncAPI Conf 2022 organization category. Please start discussion there about it, because there are many different factors. Like there might be a problem with traveling if somebody wants to actually travel to the conference and present. But I know that we want to have one of the sponsorship options, we want to have like a stipend for contributors, individual contributors that cannot afford coming to the conference. So we want to have a dedicated stipend where we could sponsor some people. So there are many, variables that define how what would be the answer, and I don't have this data, so I can't really answer. So let's continue talking about it in open in the community repo, and let's see. But it's difficult one. It's difficult one because like also it's hard to predict if someone will manage to finish or not, and then like how to do it, how to handle that. But everything is like open. We aim for 3 days conference. So definitely we can do like last year, 1 day where it's purely about contributors and like a contributor summit. Any other questions? No more questions? Okay, cool. So 30 minutes, it's a good time to finish. And anyway, I need to prepare for a thunderstorm because it was super hot here in Poland today. So thanks a lot for joining, and especially Devin, thank you for volunteering as well to help with to the mentors. That's super cool. Okay, there's a comment from Abir. Hi, Łukasz, I just joined. Can you help me summing up any important information? Yes. Let me summarize. AsyncAPI Mentorship started. Just do the work, contact your mentor, and the most important is Ace started working on AsyncAPI full-time, and he will take over the whole AsyncAPI mentorship, and he will coordinate it and be your guardian angel in the whole process of finishing the work as a mentee. But yeah, definitely I recommend you watching the recording once it's finished, in case you have more questions. Perfect. No worries, man. So yeah, enjoy the rest of the day. For some of you, it's evening already, so have a good night. Thank you.